Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there.
Hope everybody is doing well.
Absolutely. Super well.
So please do subscribe both channels. Each one of these on YouTube gets unique videos. Everything is on Patreon and everything is also on Ko-Fi. And we are also on Brighteon, Rumble, and Bitchute. So, what are we going to talk about? Well, we want to talk about earthquakes. But first we want to kind of recap, because everybody we talked to, and it was a busy day. We had quite a few people that we were consulting with, and these dates keep coming up. What do you think's going to happen by the end of the month? And this is what everybody's buzzing about it still. And today was September 19th, if I'm remembering correctly. Yes. And we see this dated from September 12th, that a German legislator warns that everybody will remember exactly where he or she was on September 24th, 2022. And then supposedly he misspoke and he was talking about February 24th. Well, I have no clue what I was doing February 24th. So it was obviously not momentous. It wasn't like September 11th, 2001. I remember that clearly. I know I was at work, and I remember all of a sudden everybody stopped working, and we put on the TV, and everybody just watched this, and then they let us all go home if we wanted to early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, everybody, that was pretty traumatic.
That sticks out.
It does, yeah.
So again, trying to rewrite things and saying, no, he misspoke. He meant February 24th. What's significant about February 24th that you remember? I don't remember anything, so I don't buy it. But again, fact checkers. Absolutely. So anyway, this was basically a statement from a German legislator that, was it a Freudian slip? Was it just complete garbage? Well, we'll find out pretty soon, I guess, won't we?
We sure will.
And then we do have the International Day of Peace, September 21st, 2022. Wouldn't it be just so like the controllers to take a International Day of Peace and create something that's just the opposite?
Yeah, it just sort of has an air of familiarity to it.
Now, the thing that they do is they take advantage of astrology, and they take advantage of energies, planetary positions. What we have gotten clearly is there are certain times of the year that are advantageous to have new beginnings. And if you are one that has followed quote-unquote pagan traditions, traditions that are rooted in the earth and earthly cycles, where your celebrations are at times like, the summer and winter solstices and the equinoxes and spring and fall. In actuality, we know also, when you look at December 21st, and that is the shortest day. And then, of course, Christians celebrate the birth of Jesus, Yeshua, on the 25th. And Easter originally, it's taken from Ostara and the pagan celebration of spring and rebirth. Well, the reason why these celebrations were there were because these were at times of importance astrologically. As often you can take advantage of the positioning of the heavens, the stars and the planets themselves at certain time periods. So, again, September 21st and into the 22nd, again, looking for fall, looking for a new season. Again, they might be looking to start something new.
Mm-hmm. Well, the energy that we're looking at here is one that is transitional. So we would want to be careful now to, whenever we do things, whenever we make changes in our lives. This is a good time to do it if you're going to make the changes, but you wouldn't want to put anything permanent into play. And I think they are taking advantage of this transitional time to give momentum to something that's going to change, that's going to affect everyone.
Yes, and we are all, pretty much everybody should have at least heard of the digital great reset that's coming. digital dollars, digital currency. Everything is just basically, you know, nothing. It is what it is. It's just numbers. Numbers that can be controlled by a small group of people. And again, the wise would be preparing in a way such as we could avoid the system and work around and outside of the system as best we can. Now, it could be, and we don't sell gold and silver, but just saying, throughout the ages, gold and silver have had value. You might want to look into that and actually have something physically on your person, in your hand, or in a safe place. Obviously, if you stocked up on food 1 year ago and say, long-term food supplies, you would have done way better than if you are just starting now, because the inflation has increased so much and there have been sporadic shortages. Look for all that to increase, and we've been obviously harping on all this for a long, long time. And I've been harping on this to family and friends for decades, going back to the 90s. I've been on this kick for 30 years. Again, I even have one of my friends that said, "Oh, it's my old buddy Doom and Gloom. Here he is. He's just, get ready, start building your ark." Yeah, he used to joke with me all the time. "You building that ark yet? Yeah. How's it coming?" Yep. Well, these things are upon us now. And so I've always known that these times were coming. A lot of you guys, too, have always known that at some time in your life, everything's going to change. Just completely change, and it's not going back to what it was.
Mm-hmm. We have that inner sense of knowing and urgency and understanding to just do our best to get our ducks in a row and prepare to the best of our ability. Everyone has different resources, so we all have different abilities, but we have to just do what we can with where we're at.
So, when you look at these things, when you look at, say, again, the Vatican, and that why did the Pope instruct Vatican entities to move all funds to the Vatican Bank by September 30th? 30 days past September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31, so that's the end of the month. Be ready. Absolutely. Something big is afoot. We can smell it. There were certain people that were not in the Twin Towers. Certain groups that called in sick on their entirety. These people had an inkling of something coming. There is something coming. Mm-hmm. By the prickling of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes.
It's pretty wicked.
It is. It is. And from talking to people that know better than I do or Cindy does, because we are not wealthy. We don't like the system at all. We hate having to operate in the system.
No, it's not very fun at all.
So we honestly have never really invested ourselves in the system, in that to us it's always felt like this is a dark, if you want to use the word satanic system. So we've always kind of we get by, but we have no intention and never even have really put it in our mindset to become wealthy. We don't want to become wealthy because we don't want to be tinged with that stench and that karma of this system. Yet again, it is so good to be as prepared as you can. And for each person, it's going to look a little different. And again, if you have 6 months at least of food stocked up, hopefully you all have at least that. And 1 year would be better, and maybe 2 or 3 years would be wonderful. You got to listen to your intuition. So, one thing that I saw when I saw this earthquake that came out today, major earthquake strikes Mexico on September 19th for the 3rd time since '85. Now, this was one that the USGS actually upgraded. The USGS downgrading service upgraded this. So we saw reports of 7.4, 7.5, and 7.6. And 7.6 is nothing to sneeze at.
No, I mean, that's pretty devastating.
So here we see some of the first images coming in. I mean, this is big, and this was shallow, 14 kilometers. That is shallow, so that means it's going to do a lot of surface shaking. And we could see damage. It's going to take a while probably to find out exactly how many lives have been lost in this. All I saw officially was 1 so far. But it's hard to imagine that you could have such a large one so close to the surface that you would it would be a miracle, but maybe it is a miracle as we see the train start to shake. And that's not because it's moving. And here you have another picture of an area that has a little pooling of water. And that's not exciting, but still 7.4 to 7.6, and it's in the state of Michoacan. Now this is saying 25 kilometers. When it looked on USGS, it was showing 15.1 at the moment. So again, the numbers are always being revised as we speak. And this is the Mexican President Lopez Obrador receiving the news about the earthquake via his cell phone inside a military base where he was following the annual exercises for earthquakes. He was following exercises for earthquakes on September 19th because other ones have happened on September 19th. And is it just because we're 2 days away from fall? All of a sudden, everybody all fall down? No, I don't think so. And, the one thing that Cindy said when I asked her, what do you feel about this? Is this natural or is this something that has technology involved?
Well, we look at other surrounding circumstances too, and we can see how these dates keep lining up. But when I feel into the energy, there's a huge disturbance, but it's not just in that one place. She is being disturbed through some kind of technology all around the globe, and certain parts of her are having reactions, and this is one of the reactions. But this is very, very deliberate. It's like they're picking on her, and it's really just not okay.
This is in Puerto Vallarta. This is just one of the most beautiful places on the planet. And what they say is, what's crazy about this is 30 minutes earlier, right before the earthquake, they're doing an earthquake drill. And then you have the earthquake hit. And by the way, there is a buoy and event code. There was a tsunami warning that was put into effect. And so far I have not seen any serious tsunami. You could look at this and you could see the water column when the quake hit here. And, we're only really looking about 3 feet. So that's not a serious tsunami, which again would be a blessing. And when you look at the heliplots, you could see this blackout in Tucson, Arizona. That's from that quake. This is big. When you get these big ones, you see it all over the world. Look at Tennessee. And here we have Indiana, Pennsylvania, Greenland, Venezuela, Hawaii. Truly, when you get them like this, the whole earth kind of rings. Zambia. Wow, look at those. So this was a big one. Again, 5-year anniversary of a 7.1 magnitude quake in Mexico City, which fell on the anniversary of a larger quake yet. And, is it all just coincidence? The one in 1985 killed over 10,000 people. This was a real biggie. And this one was 8.1, 8.0. I've seen different listings of it. And this is actually, around the area that my family comes from on my father's side. So you got these three different quakes, all on September 19th, and they give you a little triangle. Isn't that curious?
Those triangles.
Yes. I wonder if there's any other flying triangles in the sky that have anything to do with the technology. So, we just had these twin earthquakes in Taiwan, and look at that shaking going on. Whoa! Lots of shaking in the last couple of days. Is there something else to come? That's the question. I think a lot of people are feeling the energies, and that something big it feels like something very big is on the horizon. And then we were talking about the significance of the hurricane yesterday. Puerto Rico awaits critical reconstruction 5 years later after Hurricane Maria. Only 21% of post-storm projects have been completed. More than 3,600 homes still have blue tarps as roofs. 5 years after Maria. Well, now we have all the flooding. The island loses power for the second time on the second exact day. 5 years later. Wait, this feels a little bit off, right? 5 years. 5 years. Just an act of God? God's angry with us. Oh, is God angry with us? Is Mother Nature angry with us? Or is somebody hitting some sort of button?
Yeah, we just got to look at things and go,
Yeah, and again, I honestly feel that there's been a concerted effort to, catch those that are awakening to different things, like the, carbon-based climate change, swing them completely in the opposite direction. Oh, no, this is all just a natural cycle. It's all just a natural cycle. Whether it's all grand solar minimum, magnetic pole reversal, or it's all, Planet X Nemesis, or it's Nibiru. Well, I think it is all Nibiru in a sense. At least that's where I think a lot of these orders are coming from. Look to the geoengineering, look to weather modification, look to HARP, look to CERN. Yeah,
there's a lot of that stuff going on.
Look to all those satellites that were being put up into orbit in December 2016. I remember just a barrage of them, and they were just going up like constantly, and it's like there was some big race. Big race. Yeah, well, it's a race to the end of the apocalypse is what it is.
That's where we just really got to kind of hold on to things and get stabilized and be ready for some changes, because even if it's not at the end of this month, if it's not in a few days, changes are coming. They are coming down the track.
Absolutely. Changes are coming. And just, I'm so happy to see so many people waking up. Because, when we go over and we look, well, what's the news talking about? The last great funeral. How about all the people that are just dying in the middle of a tennis stroke? How about all the people that are just dropping dead on the golf course? Or in a football game? How about covering that? Who cares about the last great funeral when we have family and friends that we are losing? I mean, we just talked to some today. We just talked to one person today that their father-in-law just went out of the garage and just collapsed, and that was it. He was fine. He didn't have anything seemingly wrong with him. And boom, dead instantaneously. Just like that.
And I look at these things where they're paying tribute to someone's life, and that's really nice, but all lives should have this kind of tribute. They should be thanked, and they should be taken care of and looked at, and it's just they put so much energy into this one life, and that bothers me, because to me that feels like they're just saying, oh, the rest don't matter.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was a tweet when I pulled up Twitter, the last thing I saw before turning this on, I should have kept it up there, is it was talking about a Biden tweet saying how much gas has gone down over like the last 90 days. And you should be happy. You saved so-and-so % on your gas. What about all the rest of this stuff that's going on in this world? And that inflated price was a brief blip. What about what's coming next? What about when we can't access our funds because you've imposed a digital currency? And we don't have the carbon credits. The game is up. Enough people are waking up here. We're not going to be quiet about it. And, they could quiet a couple of us, but we're going to keep waking up, and others are going to keep waking up too. Uh-oh. Yeah. Now, I wasn't going to go there. Look at this. 1 million 700,000 what's that? A seam? And you know, what was that? A seam? You guys get where we're coming from. I wasn't going to bring this up, but I was going to cover this tomorrow. But yeah, absolutely. Another not bulls on parade, but reptilians on parade is what we're talking about here. If you guys get the drift, which I know you do. Yeah, or you could, if you want to, hey, you could say body doubles, actors, clones. There's something fishy in the palace.
It's not what they seem.
As always, guys, thanks for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.